For the first half of my working life, I was on a low income. I went from Crystal to a water park to Panera Bread to the Peace Corps. And during that time, I found many ways to save money and live within my means. And in this video, I want to share 10 frugal hacks that allow me to survive my low income days. 1. Act like you're on a low income. When I was on a low income, everyone around me, all of my coworkers, were also on a low income. However, they didn't act like it. It was almost as if they didn't know how little they were making. For example, some of my coworkers were to work hard for 2 hours to make $16, then spend that $16 on their lunch break, and finally eat in their expensive car they were struggling to pay for with $0 earned so far that day. When you are on a low income, you need to act like it. You need to know how much your time is worth, which is often very little. Be cautious with every dollar you spend, and don't spend your money carelessly. Otherwise, you'll spend all your money before you even get it. 2. Stop overvaluing your time. When you don't make that much money, I'm sorry to say, but your time is not worth that much. I mean, if you make $10 an hour, then 1 hour of your time is worth $10. And so it doesn't make any sense to spend money on things or services that help you save time. For example, some people might spend $20 on Uber Eats to save 30 minutes, but then they have to work 2 hours to make that money back. When you're on a low income, it's often cheaper to do things yourself instead of pay someone else to do it, because the amount that they're charging is often worth more than how much you're making. If you're earning $10 an hour, then paying someone $20 to save you an hour isn't saving you time. It's just making you poorer and causing you to work more. Until your time is worth more, do everything yourself. 3. Find the cheaper alternatives. For pretty much everything in life, there is a cheaper alternative. For cars, there's the bus. For name brand food, there's generic food. For expensive gyms, there's a Planet Fitness. And if you choose these cheaper alternatives, it can save you a lot of money. There are cheap alternatives to everything. However, they aren't as easy to find because they don't have as big of a marketing budget. And so you don't hear about them as much. You have to go out and research to find these cheaper alternatives. For example, when it comes to cell phone plans, you could easily spend hundreds of dollars a month by choosing to go with one of these main carriers. But there are also a lot of other options out there that are a lot cheaper and can save you a lot of money. For example, if you wanted to save money on your cell phone bill, you could switch to Tello, who's also the sponsor of today's video. Tello offers affordable plans from as low as $5 a month to their unlimited plan for only $25 a month. And included in all their plans, you get a bunch of freebies, like international calling to over 60 countries, free hotspot and free Wi-Fi calling, and unlimited text on their fast nationwide coverage. And unlike most cell phone companies, Tello allows you to customize your plan and only pay for what you need using their plan builder. You can build your own phone plan just the way you like it, choosing the exact amount of data and minutes you want, so you don't end up paying for more than you need. And if you ever find yourself with too much or too little, Tello is also extremely flexible and allows you to upgrade or downgrade whenever you like, free of charge. And when you switch to Tello, you can also keep your phone and phone number if you choose to. And you can be confident that they are a trusted company with a 4.6 star rating on Trustpilot. So if you're ready to stop overspending on your cell phone bill, click on the link in my description to start building your phone plan with Tello today, starting from as low as $5 a month to their unlimited plan of only $25 a month. The 4th hack is go to No Frill Places. When you're on a low income, where you shop almost matters just as much as what you buy. Because oftentimes the beautiful aesthetic of a place can increase the cost of products. And one way to find good deals is shop at what I like to call no frill places that focus on low prices instead of aesthetics, like Walmart, Goodwill, and Great Clips. No frill places don't waste their money on fancy shelving, nice lighting, and memorable experiences. Although when you shop at Walmart, you always get a memorable experience. Ain't that right, Steve? Sure is, El Augustine. Never a dull moment at Walmart. Hey, Steve, I haven't seen you for a while. Where you been, brother? You don't remember? You fired me. You took my job.
Took your job! Took your job! Took your job!
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure if the audience liked you, so I had to let you go. Well, maybe we should let the viewers decide. If you want to see more of me, Steve McGuire, you let El Augustine know down in the comment section. Alright, let's let the viewers decide. But shop at No Frill Places because they often pass the savings off to the customers. 5. Skip the small things. When you are on a low income, the small expenses matter a lot. I mean, way more when you're making a good income. And that's because every dollar takes more of your time to earn. I mean, if you're making $100 a day, and throughout your working day, you get a coffee and donut at the gas station for $7, a snack from the vending machine for $3, and a scratch-off ticket on your way home for $5, you have already spent 15% of what you earn that day. The small things kill you when you aren't making that much money, forcing you to work more just to break even. So skip the small things. Don't buy anything inside of a gas station. Don't grab a quick coffee, and don't go through the drive-thru. Because every unnecessary dollar spent is just another dollar that you have to work for. 6. Drive a POS car and keep it in town. In case you don't know, a POS car is a piece of shit car. And in my low-income days, I had 2 POS cars, a 1999 Dodge Intrepid and a 1986 Toyota Camry. And they were such POSs that I could only drive them in town, as going too far felt like a gamble on my life. But you know what? They were paid off, and I didn't have a payment that was sucking out money from my small bank account every single month. And if you get yourself a cheap POS car and pair it with a $70 a year AAA membership for emergencies, you will avoid the burden of a car payment, and you will save so much money that you can eventually go out and buy yourself a more reliable car. 7. Know the lay of the land. Another way to save money on a low income is to simply know the lay of the land of your area. For example, here in Atlanta, parking is always an added expense that you have to consider when you go places. But if you know the lay of the land and where the free street parking is, you can save so much money. Like the other week ago, I went to a birthday party at a ritzy part of town where parking would cost around $30. But instead of paying that, I parked 10 minutes away for free and walked, and that small decision paid for my lunch. And you can save so much money if you know the lay of the land of your area, where the discount stores are, which grocery store is the cheapest, which gas station has the cheapest prices. Cheaper options always exist if and only if you know where they are. As Hagrid once said to Harry,
"Can we find all this in London?"
If you know where to go.
8. Just say no. Back in the 80s, the late and great Nancy Reagan made the famous slogan, "Just say no," to get kids to avoid drugs. But let's be real, if you're living in a rough neighborhood surrounded by crime, crack, and addiction, it ain't as easy as just saying no. I hate to break it to you, Nancy, but it ain't that easy. But when it comes to saving money, one of the most easy and effective ways is to do just that. Just say no. Can't afford to eat out? Just say no. Can't afford to get a beer after work? Just say no. Can't afford a new gadget? Just say no. It might not have been a realistic thing to do if you were living in a crack-infested neighborhood, but if you're on a low income just trying to save a buck, just say no, and people should understand that. And every no will be a yes to your financial future. 9. Master the BYO lifestyle. The BYO lifestyle is a lifestyle that everyone should live regardless of their income, and BYO stands for Bring Your Own. One of the easiest ways to cut unnecessary wasteful spending is just to bring your own stuff instead of paying for convenience. Bring your own lunch to work, bring your own coffee when you leave the house, and bring your own water bottle when you leave the house because these small things add up to a lot of savings. The BYO lifestyle is just about being prepared in your everyday life when you leave your house to cut out wasteful spending, and that can save you a lot of money. And the final way to save money on a low income is live with a scarcity mindset. As I said in my first point, if you are on a low income, you have to act like it. Because if you act like you have a lot of money and spend it carelessly, you will waste the little money you do have and always be struggling to make ends meet. At least until you've built a financial foundation, you have to live with a scarcity mindset. You have to act as if resources are limited because as of the moment, they are. And if you keep spending like you have a lot of money, you're going to keep digging yourself in a deeper and deeper financial hole. But if you act as if resources are limited, be conscious of your spending, you will eventually get to a point where you can live with a responsible, abundant mindset. And with that, muchas gracias. Que tenga un buen día. Nos vemos, chicos.